Hey, yo, what up? This is not a podcast. It's just my thoughts with Rob Markman. Missed y'all. Sorry I haven't been around the last couple of days. I got really sick. I was in bed and then just had some personal things to attend to. It was my pop's 80th birthday, so I was planning a birthday party for him. So as soon as I had gotten better, it was like birthday planning mode. But I'm here. We have so much to discuss. So much I want to discuss. Hopefully y'all feel the same, that y'all want to discuss it with me. So, like, subscribe, hit the comments. Y'all know I be in those comments. Y'all know I love having conversation with y'all. And, as long as we keep the conversation constructive, we don't even have to agree. I don't really, I'm not too fond of the trolls in the comments. We don't have many, which we're blessed for. But man, we can have like good, productive conversation, even if we don't agree. That's what I'm here for. So I appreciate y'all tuning in. I appreciate the community that we're building. I want to talk about this Big Sean album, "Better Me Than You," is finally out. Look, I don't know. Well, first of all, I want to talk about this album, about the things that I like, the things that resonated with me, because there's stuff on this album, there's a perspective on this album, there's just certain things that Sean said that resonated with me, and I'll point those things out. Right, I don't know how the industry is going to react to this album. I kind of see what social media is saying. I don't know, what the other media personalities would say about this album, and how the industry, I don't know how they react to it. I don't know where the sales will land. I didn't look at the business side of it or the sales predictions yet. And I don't know that Sean, how much of that he took into account. Leading up to this album, he had pushed it back, right? It was supposed to come out way earlier in August, and he pushed it back because of sample clearances, and he was waiting to get things done and certain features to come in. And then he, like, last week, he just came up on IG Live and announced that he was going to drop the album, and he got a little emotional. He got like a little choked up, but talked about how it was important for him to drop this album. He needed to get this off his chest, and he didn't want to hold on to music. It sounded like, for me, when he was speaking from that perspective on his live, that he wasn't a man so much concerned about chart positioning, what it's going to sell. And let's also put this in perspective. Sean is a super successful artist. Sean has a pride about himself as an artist and an MC. So, I'm not saying he throws all of that out the window. This is still a business at the end of the day. What I'm saying is, it just seemed to me in the lead up to this that this didn't seem to be his topmost priority. His priority seemed to be getting this out, and whatever feelings he was having, to get this off his chest. So with that, like, that's how I went into the album, right? I've been watching the rollout, and I'm like, all right, or lack thereof of a rollout. You know what I'm saying? It just didn't really feel like very heavy handed. When you talk about rollout, it feels like the labels involved, marketing, this and that, and it just felt incredibly human leading up to this. Even some of the things that were kind of maybe missteps. Sean got overshadowed when he started dropping the singles and his freestyle, and then the Drake and Kendrick battle kicked off, and that's where hip hop put all their attention. So, I say that to say this just felt incredibly human. It felt like there were just things that were happening leading up to this album that you can't predict in the label's marketing room. And so here we are. So, all right, the pressure intro, right? Right off the bat, it's just a bunch of voicemails or messages that Sean is getting, and the pressure. So, like, his man hit him, "Hey, hit me back. I'm filing for bankruptcy." Messages about stress from back home. People saying that he don't rep the city enough, when his last album was Detroit too. There's a line on there in the intro, somebody like, "Yo, you need to diss somebody." The pressure of as an MC, "Yo, you need to diss somebody." Just all of that. And then it ends with the chick saying, "I miss you," and he's like, "Yo, you don't miss me, bitch." And then it gets into the album. I'm like, all right, that was a good setup for what we're about to get. I think it's just the pressure for me, how I took it, against some of the music in a second, but how I took it. And I'm not comparing my success to Sean, but in your circles, right, is relative. When you're the most successful person in your circle or your family or your friend group, or there's a pressure that comes with that, right? There's it's the money, it's the illusion that you could kind of just make things happen, and you could put people on, and this and that, and having to be there, and there's a gratitude to be blessed. I know that I feel to be there for my family and my friends and be able to help and make people's lives better. But there's an immense pressure. And I got like a lot of that from this album, right? I'm just gonna bounce around a bit. Songs like Boundaries, and this is just me speaking personally. Like that might be my favorite. Like I needed that. Like the message when he says, I could tell you I'm doing well, but it's drying out. I gotta pour back into the things that make me smile. First of all, the bar, I could tell you I'm doing well, but it's drying out. Got to pour back into the things that makes me smile. I'm doing well, but also like a water well, right? Like the metaphor, I think about this a lot. The metaphor of a water well, like if you keep drawing from the well, but no water goes in, eventually that well is going to run dry. So you need rain. You need some way to replenish that water. So I could tell you I'm doing well, but it's drying out. I got to pour back into the things that make me smile. I see the world on fire when I step out the house. I got to pay attention to everything I'm putting out. The fires that I'm putting out, but the energy that I'm putting out, right? So I thought Boundaries was dope. And then, on Something to me was another powerful song where Sean starts talking about, I've been down and uneven, I've been drowning and sinking, popping 30s for no reasons. Pop say it's always a reason, just like it's always a season. You got to know when to breathe in. You so good at putting the time in, but not taking time out when you need. So scared of losing everything that you already feel defeat. Try to bury all your problems deep down, not knowing they're deceased. You MIA half the time. Your cousin crashed, got a shattered spine. He can't even walk up to his baby crying. You ain't even check in to make sure he's fine. That whole song is about somebody dealing with something. But, there was things that stood out. Like, first of all, popping 30s for no reason. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, Sean talking about addiction, and that kind of hit me a bit, and I wonder what he would have to say about that line, because Sean is a holistic healer a lot of times and promotes that. So, what type of addictions he may have had during the process, or coming up and leading into this album. But again, it stems from that pressure, right? I've been down and uneven, I've been drowning and sinking, and at the same time he's talking about himself. And then his cousin was in a I guess a car crash that got his shattered his spine. He can't even walk up to his baby crying. Like so you think you got all these problems, and damn, like your family like can't walk, like a terrible accident, and you ain't even checking to make sure he's fine. So it's that everybody got something. I just thought that was powerful. And then Sean also has the song. I think there's a correlation because he has his own song about the Get On Up, the On Up song, which samples Jodeci about his own son, another feel good song. So Sean is a new father. So, the fact that he relates his cousin, this tragedy with his cousin, and the first thing he says, he can't even walk up to his baby crying. Like, it's funny as a new dad, like that's how he relates. But so I say all that to say, like, we talk a lot about industry shit. There's a lot of fan pages. We talk about sales. We measure how much we like albums by sales, and by we, I'm talking about the collective we. We report numbers before we report like what we like. We report beef before we report like, yo, this line really touched me in a human way. To me, Sean, like this album is human. There's a maturity here. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think it's a classic. I don't think it's a perfect album. I don't think it's Sean's best album, but it feels like it's the album that he needs right now, and for those of us that need it to resonate right now. And then who knows where it grows from there, right? Like, I mean, look, Detroit, Dark Sky of Paradise. We know Sean is an elite lyricist, made hit records, just masterful rapping, and that's on this album, but that doesn't seem to be the focus on this album. I listen to it and I just hear human. Million Pieces. You know, his is another song that resonated with me. I used to want to be a millionaire for shit like a million reasons. And then it came with a million leeches that want that many pieces: lawyers, taxes, state taxes, agents, assistants, managers, business managers, fees and damages, plus somebody else to make sure they're not scamming us. Should have you depressed checking your balances. Like, it, and this gets tough to like, I know that we think that money solves everything. Like, this is what this is getting at to me. And I've been blessed to make some money in my career, not as much as Sean. Again, it's all relative. And I know somebody watching this may be like, well, yeah, money will help. And money absolutely will help. Money is a tool, but money doesn't change, or money doesn't just like automatically eliminate problems, right? More money, more problems. Like, it does create more problems. And it's about managing money and managing your life the right way. But you know, I used to want to be a millionaire for shit like a million reasons, that it came with a million leeches that want that many pieces: lawyers, taxes, state taxes, agents, assistants, managers, business managers, fees and damages, plus somebody else to make sure that they're not scamming us. Like, that shit is so real. And you know, I saw something on social media. It was one of the podcasts, and I'm not even being shady. I forgot which. I think it was the Joe Budden podcast, but I forgot. I don't want to miscredit, but I'm almost positive it was that they were arguing or debating like if $1 million is life-changing money. And it absolutely is. $1 million will change your life, can change your life. But $1 million is also not $1 million. You got to pay taxes, right? So that might be 40% going right there. If you have a manager, it's 20%. It's, you know what I'm saying? Like $1 million is not $1 million, but $1 million is still a life-changing money. You know what I'm saying? You just have to manage it the right way. And you know, this is the stress of having money when you don't come from money. So more so also financial literacy. You know, how to invest, how to protect yourself, how to protect your family. And you know, that was something I could relate to, because I had made more money than I've made. You know, in the recent years, I've made more money. I've seen more money than I've seen. And, you know, it's been tough. So, again, very human, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I love that Sean does this, because he talks about money. There's not a lot of stunting on this album either. There's not a lot of, like, just flexing his riches, because it's also hard to listen to the rich guy complain about being rich. Like, I get it, like 1,000%. But I love how, again, he's just trying to give you the human emotion, because he didn't couple this with a lot of flexes. Like there's not a lot of flexing on the album. It's not a lot of him showing off what he bought or what he has. So it made me appreciate this joint even more. And then when Tiana Taylor comes on, and really this is what it boils down to. She said, yo, it's hard being a healer when I'm scarred as hell. You know, again, when you're the most successful in your family or at your friend group or your social circle or the biggest in your city. For many people, right? There's some people who could do that, take what they got and go off in their corner. But when you're that, and also like a healer, when you also want to help people, when you also want to create opportunity for people, when you also want to open up the world for other people as the world has been opening up for you, it is a difficult balance of how much can you give versus how much do you keep for yourself. So when Tiana says it's hard being a healer when I'm scarred as hell, I thought that was dope. I like how Sean tells the story on Typecast, just going back, reminiscing when he said, I used to sell CDs out my history class. What a foreshadow that was when I'm looking back from the blog era. I had to get through the tabloids just like MJ had to get through the bad boys. Like, you know, I was around for that. My career was starting at the same time from the blog era. That's when I actually had met Sean, and then it was like the tabloid era. Like, you grew like it had to be crazy that, you know, you're being covered by Nah Right, Two Dope Boys, on Smash, you know, even World Star, which is huge. And then now your life is on TMZ, right? Had from the blog era to the tabloids, just like MJ had to get through the bad boys. Like that had to be a thing. Most of those blog eras was about your music, and then you become this star. And Sean had his fair share of tabloid headlines, Shade Room, TMZ, and all of that. So I thought that was just a dope bar. Break the Cycle is dope, featuring Charlie Wilson. I feel like Charlie Wilson makes every song better. The accountability is here. Again, this is not Sean just saying like, yo, this is fucked up. Everybody is around me is fucked up. I'm a victim. Um, he talks about his accountability. What has he done for the situation, right? So check this verse on Break the Cycle when he says, "Funny how niggas tend to believe more than what happened. I mean, really, do we look like Inglorious Bastards? Lena Waithe told me I was the black Brad Pitt." That's a bar. Inglorious Bastards. Brad Pitt was Inglorious Bastards. Lena Waithe told me I was the black Brad Pitt. I wasn't too fond of that title, flattering as it is. I mean, really though, that's what you think of my rep? That's what they saying about me? Quiet as kept. Like I just go from one star to another star. Like I'm drawing out constellations, or I go from one hole to another, like I'm shooting par. Little golf reference, one hole to another, one hole to another. That ain't me at all. I really had to stop what I was doing to start retracing my steps and had to break some cycles. So, you know, it's him, public perception, right? And it goes back to that early version of Element. You know, it also goes to the tabloid headlines, but you know, Big Sean's relationships have been in the news from you know, obviously him and Janae are together now, and they have a beautiful son, and he was with Ariana Grande before that, and at one point the late Naya Rivera. You know, Sean has been with his fair share of famous women. Also stems from the Kendrick line, right? That early version of Element. You know, finally famous because of the bitches you fucking, right? So this has been ammunition used against Sean as well, right? And so Lena Waithe tells him he's the black Brad Pitt, you know, and you know the whole thing, like I just go from one star to another, like I'm drawing out constellations. That ain't me at all. Like, you know, he's taking accountability. Like he's saying that's not me. Y'all got the perception wrong. But I had to really stop what I was doing and start retracing my steps, and I had to break some cycles. So, you know, whatever that perception of, even if it's not him, he still takes accountability on how he's contributed to that, right? And I think that's Sean's superpower is his truth. I love the way he takes accountability. You know, he had that earlier this year when he rapped over the drop beat, like the, you know, the redo of drop. He had that freestyle, right? Like y'all remember he started off, I think where I lack most as an artist is consistency. I just haven't had the energy to compete with enemies or y'all so-called bigger three. And I had said this before. Everybody thought, oh, he's dissing Cole and Drake and Kendrick. And I'm just like, I mean, he mentioned them, right? He alludes to them for sure. But the first line that he says is, I think where I lack the most as an artist is consistency. That's accountability. That's before saying anything about anybody else. He's saying about himself. And I just haven't had the energy to compete. I haven't had the energy to compete with enemies, either somebody I don't like or whoever y'all say is the big three, whether it be Drake, Cole, Kendrick. It could be somebody else. I guess the so-called part for a lot of people made it shady. But the headline in that line to me was accountability. So, again, Sean, I don't think Sean is perfect, and nobody is, but I appreciate the way that he calls himself out. You know what I'm saying? He says, okay, these are the things that I need to change. Other than that, it is what it is with Gunna. I thought that was cool. You know, again, him reminiscing me and Tone in the Caprice. You know, we had to print out the CDs and plan all the C's and just roll up our sleeves. You know. I like the reminiscing, the history, Sean telling us how far he came. You know, I thought the Clarity skit was dope. Who is apologize about? That's something I haven't figured out. Like, I think the easy answer is Kanye and maybe, but I haven't quite figured that out. I don't know. I mean, it could be something else going on in his life. I'm sure he has a lot of relationships that kind of get put through the blender. But apologize was interesting. I like On Up. I like the Jodeci sample. Certified, Nassan. I fuck with Nassan's verse on Certified. Nassan, if you don't know, is the son of the late Proof from D12, you know, Detroit legend. So the fact that Nassan has grown up, we've actually had him on Genius. So he was on Genius breaking down his records. That's somebody whose career I'm hoping to see flourish. I'm excited to see flourish. He's putting in a lot of work. So Big Sean and Nassan on Certified. I thought Nassan's verse was really dope. I thought the focus skit again. I related to that. Again, when his man calls him because he needed him to come help with the hose. I'm not that guy. I'm not the one that my people call when they need help with the hose. But his man, you know what I'm saying, called him like, yo, Sean's like, yo, I'm in the studio. I need to focus. He's like, nah, you need to come to this club. You need to help me, man. I got these girls. Basically, if you show up, we're going to impress these girls and we all could hit. But just that thing of the things that his friend group needs him for, or his circle needs him for, when he's really trying to focus and lock down and keep some from himself. The things that you have to say no to. Yo, I'm not going to the club tonight. I can't hang out tonight. Yo, I got work to do. Yo, I got to focus on this YouTube channel. Yo, I got to put more work in. Yo, I got to keep building this up because I'm trying to reach a goal, and the people around you may not see, and the things that are important to them at the moment might not be your focus or priority, or can't be your focus and priority. That's what I took from the album. I thought Together Forever was fire with Alchemist, and Fighting Fires is dope. He couldn't clear the sample, so Fighting Fires I just thought was ill lyrically. It's on his SoundCloud. But overall, I like the Sean album, man. Like it resonates with me. Like it gave me positive just affirmation for where I'm at. Like, I can't knock anybody. Like if it wasn't for them, if it wasn't for you, if you heard this and you be like, nah, that's not for me, I get it. Where I'm at in my life right now, like I'm like, all right, yeah, this is stuff that I've been feeling. And this affirms it. Like, oh, you're not alone in the world. Other people go through this. There's a way to navigate this. We got to figure it out. So, Better Me Than You, I like the album on a very human level. Again, I can't tell you what it's going to sell. I can't tell you where it's going to chart, what singles it's going to spawn that hit big. And I don't know that there's a song bigger than Click on here, or as big as Click, or as big as Ass. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, or My Last, or whatever the really big Sean, the big singles are, Bounce Back. Like, I don't know if this spawns any of those. And to me, that's all right. I don't know if that was necessarily the intent to repeat that success, but it seems like he needed to get something off his chest, so that I can salute. But that's it. That's my thoughts. I want to know what y'all thought about the album. What was y'all favorite joints? If y'all was feeling it, if y'all wasn't feeling it, let me know. Hit me in the comments, like, subscribe, all that. And I'm going to be back because we got to talk about this Dolce album. Also want to talk about, the Travis Scott is doing some amazing things on the sales chart this week. So when those numbers finally come in, we got to talk about that. And, I just want to be out here and show more love to more people too. We lost a legend. We lost Fat Man Scoop. On my Instagram, I'm definitely going to show love on YouTube Shorts. I want to just give a short, brief message about Scoop and what his contributions were. But going forward from there, man, I don't want to wait till our legends passed away to salute them. So I'm going to find ways between shorts, my IGs, maybe something more long form, but once a week to just tip my hat to give love to living legends, to give love to people who are out here doing it now. I think it's important to give love to people while they're alive. But rest in peace to Fat Man Scoop, man, and prayers up for his family. We just gonna keep building. I appreciate y'all. So let me know. Hit me in the comments. All right. Till the next time, we're gonna speak again this week. I promise you. All right. Peace.